I guess I was always destined to be in the beauty industry. My mom had a beauty salon when I was really young, and I grew up kind of going there after work, and I just loved everything about it. I loved the products, I loved being there in that atmosphere. And when I left school at 18, I opened my own nail bar. So I ran a nail bar for 4 years. And do you know what? At the time, I loved it, but I kind of soon realized it wasn't very scalable. I loved doing nails, but as we grew, I started to just manage people, and it just became a different kind of job. And I lost the love for the nails because I wasn't doing it as much. And I decided, I want something that has my stamp on it, that I can really work on the parts that I love. And Moxi was born. Moxi Loves was born, and I loved everything about product creation. I had all these ideas, and I looked out there, I did a bit of market research, and they just didn't exist. And I thought, this is for me. This is something where I can really harness my passion and make it a business. So Moxi Loves is a waterless beauty brand. We create cute, innovative, convenient products that you didn't know you needed until we invented them. And I think that's always in the back of my mind. I guess my mum's a facialist, so I was never really allowed to cut corners in my skincare. Couldn't use a face wipe. They were not in my house growing up. So I was never able to just quickly cleanse. And I always wanted to create something that I knew that she would approve of as facialist, and that I knew my friends would love, that I would love. That just wasn't there. And that was one of our first products, barefaced cleansing infused makeup pads. So they're paraben free, hypoallergenic, clinically tested, and they were the start of our kind of sustainable skin loving products, but that are also convenient, that you can take with you on the go. And kind of no matter what product we create, it's always that kind of checklist that I do. Does this exist? Have we improved something? When will somebody use this? Can they use this wherever and whenever? And that's kind of our checklist always. Yeah, waterless beauty was something that I stumbled upon creating a product. As I was looking at what made face wipes so bad, both for the environment and for your skin, was the high level of water content inside meant that you had to add a lot of ingredients to stabilize formula, but also there had to be a lot of microplastics in the wipe to keep it intact in a pack. And so as soon as you strip back all the water, you can actually start from scratch and put the best ingredients. And then I realized, well, actually, from a sustainability point of view, not wasting natural resources like water in our formula was a huge advantage. And I didn't know at the time in 2018, when I developed that product, how far that waterless movement will go, and how much it would actually mean to the beauty industry, and what it looked like, and actually how beneficial it was across the board, both in hair and skincare. And so it was almost by mistake, but now, it's with purpose. We continue the waterless feature in our products. Yeah, for now it's definitely the on the checklist. I think because it's really important that, aside from our packaging and as a beauty industry, ignoring the packaging as an issue, and really looking at, if you turn your product around and 80 to 90% of the product contents are water, you're diluting your ingredients, you're causing an issue, because by 2025 billions of people will face water shortages. So we cannot continue as we are. So I will always try to be at the forefront of what the next sustainable movement is. And packaging is one thing, but water is something we can change today. And so, yeah, it's really important for me, for the brand going forward, that we make a difference. I think it's really important when you look at a niche, and I think a lot of brands are dabbling in waterless, whether it's the shampoo bars or it's some kind of form of a waterless product, that you actually have functionality at the forefront. Because if you do it for the sake of it and your product doesn't function, you're going to alienate a whole group of people who are trying to make a difference to the environment, but not at a cost of good products. So people won't make a switch if it doesn't function, and it has to function. And for me, I think I want to make the sustainability function and be enjoyable and be nice to use. Not everybody wants to use a bar of soap to wash their hair, and not everyone feels like their hair is clean, and a lot of people like a luxurious product. So I'm always thinking about, well, look, we can improve it. We don't have to just tick a box and say we're sustainable. Here's a product that 40% functions like what you're used to. I think we also have to acknowledge that people are not used to these types of formulas. So how can we make them user friendly? How can we encourage people to make the switch where they won't have to change too much of their lifestyle to go waterless, and still have those lovely feelings of textures and products they enjoy using? And so that is where I think the future is in it, and that's where we fit in. And we're making it functional, not just sustainable for the sake of it. So 3 months after I launched the business, I decided that I was going to go on Dragon's Den. At the time, I had nearly sold out of my opening order of my product, and I was almost growing too fast. Like I was growing broke. I couldn't afford to buy more stock, but I couldn't afford not to because we were selling out so quickly, which was an amazing problem to have. But I thought, okay, I mean, I sell my products every day to buyers. I can go on Dragon's Den. Like I was a huge fan of the show. I loved watching it. I loved seeing people talk about their brand. And so I thought, well, look, let's go on. Let's see what happens. And the clip is on YouTube, and people have watched it, and it's just great feedback. I had an amazing time on Dragon's Den. It, to be honest, came across so well in the edit. Like it, I just think you can be really lucky and unlucky. Like they loved the product, they loved the idea. We had great traction. It was early days. And so what I've learned is now if I'm talking about my business, which I am, I'm trying to raise investment. And when I'm talking to people, there's a huge story to tell. When you're 3 months in business, everything is great. You know, everything's amazing. There's no peaks and troughs. There's nothing negative to discuss. So that was probably what made it so great. And yeah, it was fantastic, like profile raising. I didn't end up taking the money off the Dragons in the end post show. We met a few times. It just wasn't the right deal for me. And most of them really understood that it wasn't the right fit. Like 3 Dragons sounds amazing in the, you know, when they offer it. And you're like, 3, how great. But then 3 people, 3 schedules, 3 different personalities, and then me 4. So yeah, I've no regrets of not taking that deal either. It was the right decision. So you may recognize me from BBC's Apprentice. I still can't believe I did it. It was one of those things where I knew that I needed to get an investor to scale the business. I also really wanted to get my brand across the pond into the UK. And I thought, well, look, whether I get the investment or not, I might get a bit of exposure along the way. It was a little bit of a risk. I had thought to myself, look, TV can be fickle. You may come across terribly. And having a consumer facing brand, it was a bit of a risk because I didn't know what way like it was going to look until I saw the final cut, which was when everybody at home saw it. So huge risk, but I have to say one that absolutely paid off. It was firstly from a personal side of things, an incredible experience. From, you know, someone from Ireland who's been on a 2-week holiday. That's about the longest I've ever been away. And I moved to London for 12 weeks. I have no phone. I had no access to my business. So it definitely affected me from a business point of view at that time. But, you know, on the flip side, when the show ended, like we'd sold out of one of our products online in 2 days. The exposure was just incredible. And the reaction and people, you know, people were devastated when I didn't win. And it was so lovely that people felt, you know, so strongly in one way. And I'm relieved, you know, nearly I was kind of a bit like, oh gosh, no, like, you know, Karina's amazing. I was such a good friend to her, but loads of people were really disappointed. And that was so nice, you know, to have the public support. But look, from a business point of view, the brand exposure on national TV at prime time slot was just amazing, and I've no regrets. There have been so many milestones and successes that I've had in business with the brand. Like we've won multi-innovation awards. I've been recognized, you know, as a businesswoman 30 under 30. And it's just been great to really get that stamp of approval. And of course, aside from the accolades of the awards, having listings in the likes of Boots, you know, that is just so huge for me. I'm a Boots customer. I've always loved the store and the offering. So to have my products there, like honestly, if nothing else happens, that was such a huge success for me personally and for the business. One of the first stockists that we've had was Primark in Ireland. And honestly, dream come true to have my product on shelf in Primark. I just couldn't believe it. It was one of those things that I had always dreamed of. When I was developing the products, I'm always thinking about the Primark customer, because I shop there for beauty and I know a lot of professionals shop there for bits and pieces. And I thought, you know, I have to have it there. Like it has to be there. And Primark have been a massive support to me as a small, like pretty relatively small Irish, you know, female owned business in Ireland, to have my product on shelf. And then not only that, you know, as The Apprentice was coming along, I filmed it in the summer of 2019. I met with the buyer just before it aired, and I let her know that this was coming, and she said, well, we have to get it to the UK. And so to have, you know, Moxi Loves, Primark UK. Now, we unfortunately had it terribly timed. The stock was sent over to the UK in about March of 2020, just before the UK went into lockdown with coronavirus. So really, really tough, because all I wanted to do was hop on a plane and see it on shelf. And sure, Primark stores then closed. So it feels like now the stores are open. I'm getting pictures from, you know, customers over in the UK sending me photos of it on shelf. Like I think it was Ryan actually who filmed, yeah, it was Ryan who filmed The Apprentice with me, sent me a photo and was like, look, it's here in Primark on Oxford Street. And honestly, huge pinch me moment. I'm devastated I can't see it there in person, but it's actually a really huge deal because Primark, aside from the UK branches, like it's global. So, you know, if we can make a success of the UK, this is going to take us across Europe into the US. It's an amazing opportunity. We're in all the top stores. We're merchandise within beauty. It's fantastic and it's going to open a lot of doors. So I'm absolutely delighted. In 5 years, Moxi Loves is going to be global. We are just about to launch into 400 stores in Australia. So I am absolutely delighted. And that's just the first stepping stone into what the future looks like. I really believe that dreams have no time limit. So we're in business a few years, but whether it's 5 or 10 years, we will be a global beauty brand. On shelf in the US, on shelf in, you know, Asia, across the world, you know, our products are made for the global beauty customers. So that's where we want to be. We want to be worldwide as an offering in all the stores. We have 3 new products launching this year, all in the waterless beauty trend and a lot more to come. The innovation pipeline is about 20 products long. So once I get my investor, I will knock those out one after another. You can find out more about Moxi Loves and me on Instagram. It's at Moxi Loves, and moxiloves.com is our website. You'll find our products in Boots, Primark, Boots Online, Ocado, and just recently in Lloyd's Pharmacy in the UK.